Welcome back to Kiwi Bread. What is the day in the life of a stud manager like? Well, I had a chance to catch up with Waikato Studs' Mark Chittick. Well, Mark, your father Gary bought the stud in 1993. Talk about your succession plan, because you're in the process of taking over the place now.
Yeah, as you say, Simon, we've been up here 19 years now, and there's been massive growth over that 19 years. I think we've gone from 430 acres originally to a bit over 1,200 now, and we've gone from about 80 or 100 mares to 170 mares, and there's been a lot of success in that time. But yeah, he's getting sort of into his sort of twilight years, I suppose you'd like to say, and so there's definitely a process that's had to have gone on, and I suppose I've got to be very thankful that he's been very proactive in getting that done.
So the day-to-day running of the stud, I mean, you've obviously been doing it for a while. What are your duties? What do you do during a normal day?
Well, things have really changed over the last few years. Before we came up here, and I suppose for the last 15 odd years, it was a very hands-on sort of operation from my part. I was very involved in the absolute day-to-day running of the farm, and there's been a bit of transition over the last 4 or 5 years. Into more of an overseeing role. Obviously, it's a very big operation to run, and I've got some key people on the different farms, 3 different farms, key people on those farms, key people in the office, key people with marketing. So it's having involvement with all of those areas and people, and making sure that it's running smoothly, and that I'm leading the way, I suppose. Some
of those staff been here since the early days, since your father took on the Waikato stud?
Yes, one of them in particular, he's been on the farm 30 years, so he was here before our time, and he's certainly been a key member, especially with that during the takeover, because we actually took Waikato stud over going concern. So he had full knowledge of, it's Richard Stewart is his name, he's been here 30 years, he had full knowledge of all of the horses that were on the farm, and he's got an unbelievable knowledge on horses full stop.
You know a lot about obviously the family business, but what about your own family? Wife Lisa, 3 kids, how's it with them on the farm? I mean, you live just a couple of 100 metres from the office here.
Yeah, it's well, listen, it's a great environment for them to grow up in. Obviously the horse industry is a very exciting business. There's always something to look forward to. There's always something running on Saturday, or running in the Group 1 in a couple of weeks, or whatever it may be. So it's very exciting. And our kids are 11, 9 and 6 now, and they certainly became aware very quickly on how to pick our colours up in a race, and learning very quickly how to party when those colours win.
What have been the highlights for you since your time at Waikato Stud?
Oh, it's been numerous. It'd be very hard to single things out. As I've alluded to, there's been massive growth over these last 20 odd years. Probably one of the really exciting parts for me, and what I've found really achieving, is as we've grown in land size. One of the farms that we took over was mainly cropping, so that had to be developed into facilities that we could use, that was appropriate for us. Another one that we took over was a dairy farm. So I've actually really liked the developing those farms, and I've had help doing it, but I'm very proud of them now, and they work very well, and they are part of the showpiece. But on the horse front, racing Glamour Puss, she winning 2 Group 1s with Dan O'Brien, who I'm very good friends with. That was a great thrill. The day that Bird won the Warstep Stakes and became South Island Filly of the Year, and on the same day we Daffodil won the AJC Oaks, and Vision and Power won the Doncaster. You just couldn't get a better day than that.
Obviously taking over the farm is going to be exciting for you, and new times ahead, but you're not going to keep Gary off the farm, are you? I mean, he's certainly going to be in here and having his 2 cents worth at the odd time.
Yeah, no, and at the end of the day, I've made a point of that I don't want a lot to change on the day-to-day running of things. He's got he's got unbelievable knowledge. He's got unbelievable sort of contacts and relationships with people. And at the end of the day, it is a very big operation to run, and there's a reason that it's got to this size and to have this sort of success. So therefore, I've got to take it onwards and upwards from here. But certainly, once a week we jump in the truck and go for a drive around, and I talk to him every day about various things. So he's a great sounding board.
We catch up with Mark Chittick again next week to talk about the dominance of Waikato stud, both from the stallion barn and on the racetrack.